Yo, 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 YouTube. What's the dealio? What's the dealio, man? Hop on, hop on. What up, what up? Hey, we got Sunday, man. It's Sunday. We got a new week upon us. All right. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down obviously the watch list, what we gonna be looking at this week. I got some plays for you guys, some trades and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna let everybody hop on in real quick, give y'all a couple minutes, and then we gonna get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope everybody weekend was great. I hope everybody had a great weekend, peaceful weekend. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Rejuvenating weekend. All right. If you just hopping in, say what's up. Say what's up. Let me know where you tuning in from. What up, Best B? What up, QTZ? Marley, what up? Finally caught the light. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Shout out to Marley, man, because Marley was, listen, it was me, Marley, and Shali on YouTube Live. We was over here just camping out. All right. So hey, shout out to Marley. What up, Shali? What up, JT? What's up, Veronica? What up, Brielle? How's everybody feeling? So we got some plays today, man. We got some plays. We got some good stuff popping off today, going into the week. What's up, Mason? You giving somebody a massage right now or what? What up, Q? Q Dog. What's the dealio? Best B, feeling good, feeling great. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good week, man. Listen, last week was a great week. Last week was the first week we didn't have any crazy news, so it was a good week. But this coming up week, we about to demolish the market. All right, we about to spank the market. All right. What's up, Eleanor? If you tuning in and you have not, do me a favor and just like this video. All right, that's all you gotta do. Like this video. All right, let's make sure this video gets 100 likes. All right. What's up, Arnaud? What up? Let's make sure this video gets 100 likes, y'all. All right, that's all I'm asking. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a great time for you to be listening in, Mason. All right, but we gonna get it popping. We gonna get it started. All right. So let's go in, y'all. First things first. I want you guys to understand that we got a new week. All right. So whatever happened last week, let's not lament on it, and let's not focus on it. If it was bad, right, or if it was unfortunate. All right. What's up, Miss Virgo? Whatever happened last week, man, don't trip about it. All right. We're going into a new week. Now, this week, let's go over earnings real quick. All right. Let's go over the earnings real quick, because this week is like filled and jam-packed with some crazy stuff. All right, some crazy stuff. So I'm pulling it up right now. All right. So let's look at it real quick. Let's peep the earnings for the week. All right. So this week for earnings. We got SoFi right here on Tuesday morning. That's gonna be a banger. We got PayPal, which is at an interesting level right here. We got Starbucks, Starbeezy. We got Spotify. They probably gonna beat earnings, honestly. I think Spotify is gonna beat earnings. We got Caterpillar, HUM. I've been like looking at them a little bit here and there. So after close on Wednesday, this is the biggest. So Thursday is going to be a massive trading day, because we got Microsoft that reports, we got Meta that reports, we got Robinhood that reports, and we got Qualcomm that reports. All right. These are three stocks that I trade, right? Whether it be swing trades or whether it be day trades. And I would say Robinhood is the one that I trade the most on day trades. And then we got Roblox. We got Eli Lilly, LLY. And then Friday is going to be another big trading day because we got Apple and we got Amazon. We got Twilio too. People been paying attention to Twilio, and we got Airbnb, and we got Reddit. I've traded all these stocks right here minus Riot. All right. And then on Friday before market open, we got Exxon and Mobil. All right. I'll be rocking with Exxon Mobil too. So Friday, this week is going to be insane. All right. This week is going to be crazy, crazy trading day. Now, I want you guys to remember, when you're trading stock options, the week of, what's up, Jeff B? Moneybag Jeff, what up, what up? Hey, if y'all just tuning in, man, say what's up, man. Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you tuning in from, all right? Let me know where you tuning in from, because this live is about to be a banger, all right? I got some plays for you guys this week, and I got quite a few plays for you guys. I got my main 3, but then I'm going to give y'all a couple more as well, all right? So if you tuning in, man, say what's up, man. Let me know where you tuning in from. I want you to understand that this is a family right here, right? YouTube is like an extended family right here. Every time we go live, it's like we linking up, all right? It's like a networking event type thing, all right? So just be sure to let me know where you tuning in from. And then I'm going to start going live again. I'm getting ready to move Airbnbs. We're going to a different spot this week. So when I get settled in, I'm going to start going live throughout the week again. All right. So like I was saying, this week with earnings, right? When a stock has earnings, their premiums are going to be higher. Point blank, period. So if you wake up tomorrow and you see that a stock that you may wanted to trade, let's say usually the premium, the contract is $210 usually, but now you're seeing it and it's like $380 or $400. And you're like, why is it so expensive right now? It's because the IV is probably higher, implied volatility is probably higher, and then and that makes the contracts go up. And also people are anticipating that, right? So a lot of times before a stock has earnings, the stock runs up and contracts are a little bit more expensive. All right. So I just wanted to drop that on you guys. So let's go into the SPY real quick. All right, let's go into the SPY and let's see what's up with the SPY. Let's see what's going on with the SPY and the QQQ. All right, what we got? All right, so we got. Let's go to the SPY. All right, so, okay. So this candle right here, this is on a weekly. Let's look at the daily. This candle, all right. So we got a little bit of action right here. So SPY is halfway through filling a gap right here on Friday, right? So that happened. And then we got boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. We got a gap right here that needs to be filled. So let's go do that. Boom, come down right here. All right, cool. So that's a gap. All right, cool. So this is a SPY, right? So let's look at it. So we got the 200 EMA right here on the S&P, which is at 559.84. All right, so let's put that right there. 200 EMA. All right. Gonna make that a little bit smaller. All right, boom. All right, so, and then we got this 50 EMA right here, and that's at the top of this gap fill, okay? So futures opened up a little bit lower. So I don't know how things are gonna open up tomorrow, but the SPY closed at 550.64 on Friday, right? So this is, I would say 550.64 is going to be your support or your resistance. It just depends on where it opens up at on tomorrow, right? But we got a gap to fill, and it could be going up to 554.77. All right, so let's say we open up like right here at 550, 551, or even like 549, we could come up here real quick just to test this, to fill this gap right here and to hit this 50 EMA. And then we could potentially reject off of it and then come down, or we could break through it, test the 200 EMA, and then we could reject off of it and come back down. All right. Oh shit. My light just fell, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Me personally, I don't think that the SPY is gonna go up too crazy right now. I personally don't think so. All right. And the reason why I don't personally think so is because just a lot is going on right now, and we got tariff stuff going on, right? But here's the interesting part. On the SPY, we got a bullish engulfing right here, right? So this big green candle is engulfing this red candle right here, and then buyer stepped in right here at 508 and pushed it all the way up, and it ended up closing at 551. All right, so I personally, it could go either way, y'all. All right, we could have a really bullish week on a SPY because we got this bullish engulfing, or we could have a flat week, or we could kind of blast off and like come up to maybe test like 565 right here. All right. So first things first, that's what I'm seeing with the SPY. What's up, Geneva? What up, Jeff? Moneybag Jeff, what up? So that's the first thing I'm seeing with the SPY. We got that bullish engulfing on the weekly time frame, right? But with the weekly time frame, there's a lot of things that are going on right now because we still got tariffs that are looming, okay? We still got tariffs that are looming. Tariffs that are looming right now, we don't really have a direction in the market just yet. We still don't have a direction in the market. So that's why you're seeing things kind of bouncing around, going up and down, right? So we don't know the direction yet. So right now, the best thing to do is just play. Like when you're trading, you want to just know your levels and just play your levels. All right. That's all I want you to do. Just play your levels. That's all you got to do right now. Because if you start trying to like do too much and predict where a stock is going, then it could, go in the opposite direction very fast. All right. So when I'm looking at SPY, I'm seeing that it could go either way. Off of the weekly time frame, it does look bullish. All right. Off the weekly time frame, it does look like it's going up. But on the daily time frame, we could see a little rejection. All right. So that's first things first. So that's the SPY. I'm sure the QQQ is very similar. Let me look at the QQQ real quick. Yeah, QQQ looks just the same. Right. Let me show y'all real quick. Look at this. So look at the QQQ real quick, right? Look at this on the daily time frame right here. Tell me that don't look exactly the same. That looks exactly the same as the SPY, right? And so we got an EMA right here, 50 EMA, right? And then we got the 200 EMA right there. Okay, and then look at the SPY. Same thing, right? 50 EMA right there, 200 EMA. So QQQ is a NASDAQ, and it's got all the big tech companies. SPY got, the top 500, companies. And then you go to the QQQ, and then you go to the weekly time frame. And then we got that bullish engulfing as well. Came down, buyer stepped in, pushed it up, boom, right? So the QQQ and the SPY, they look very similar. Okay, they look very similar. So that's where we at with those ones. So whatever you see going on with the QQQ, most likely is going to be happening with SPY, right? But I got some plays that I'm looking at, all right? Now, this week, we have, we're going into May, right? We're going into May. What up, Steve? What up, Gerald? Yeah, we're going to get that big bag this week, man. So going into May, I want you guys to be careful of something, and I want you guys to be cautious of something. What I've seen is whenever you have the end of the month and also the beginning of the month, you either have sell-offs or rallies. Okay? Sell-offs or rallies. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. This could make you 2 bands this week, right? So the end of the month, you either gonna have a sell-off or a rally because they're trying to have their data report for certain months, right? So for April, if we rally and continue to rally, in my mind, the beginning of May, we could have a little sell-off. All right? And then it could go up or it could come down. We don't know. I want you guys to understand, nobody knows what the market is going to do. Nobody knows for a fact what the market is going to do. But what people can do is they can learn how to read the charts and get a better understanding and then have, so if this happens, then I'm going to do this. If this happens, then I'm going to do this, right? Always have that in mind. So keep those things in mind about the earnings, but also the end of the months and the beginning of the months, right? Because they'll be like, S&P, Dow, slides 700 points to start out the month, right? Or to end the month, or to end the week, or to start the week off. So keep those things in mind, right? They will make the stocks do certain things at certain periods of the month to support their narrative, right? So that the stock can go in the direction that they want it to go, but it has to do certain things in order for the numbers to work the way that they want the numbers to work. All right. So, because if we go to the beginning of April, look, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the QQQ, right? Look at the QQQ. This is on March 31st, but let's go to the daily. Right, on March 31st, March 13th, this is on the 27th, this is on Friday. All right, so look, the last 3 days of March, or the last day of March, they had a rally, okay? But they had a rally after 3 days of intense sell-off. So QQQ went from 491 all the way down to 468, and then it had a rally, right? And then look, they had 2 more days of a rally and then crazy sell-off, right? So it's like they had to have this happen so that the month of March could be, could end a certain way. And then they started that month off, bull trapped everybody, and then they dropped it off, right? So SPY looks the exact same. So it's like, just keep those small things in mind as we're going into the end of the month and as we're going into the beginning of the month as well. All right. May go away. If you look on Bookmark, there's Bookmap, there's a lot of sellers at 560. Yep. And if we go to 560 on SPY, 560, 570, yeah. That's like a mini little, you could look at that as a supply zone. Because if we look at it right here, look at this. If you look at it right here, I think he meant Bookmaps, Gerald. So if you look at it right here, boom. This right here could be looked at as like a supply zone or a demand zone, right? Because it had a move down here and then right here and then boom, right? So this could be a potential zone. We would have to zoom out to see what happens around this area. So if we zoom out, so it's a little zone right here. It's not a super strong zone, but it is a little zone right here. All right, and that's around that 560 level. All right. So yeah. So that's what we're looking at with the SPY. Now, if we're looking at in the QQQ, so I have a challenge for everybody. I'm gonna make a video for this challenge is I'm gonna drop the video on Wednesday. All right, I'm gonna drop that video on Wednesday. So I'll let y'all know what that is on Wednesday. If you're already in the Discord, you already know what it is. But I have 3 plays for this week that I'm looking at very seriously. All right. Now, when I say I have 3 plays, I'm looking at, it's like you could potentially swing trade these stocks, or you could just like day trade them, right? I'm just here to kind of like give you the perspective on the charts and what the stocks are. If you want to swing it, that is on you. You get what I'm saying? If you want to day trade it, that is on you. I'm just giving you stocks that I'm looking at, that I trade consistently, that I see things happening on the charts, right? Based on my analysis and what I see. All right. So let's go to my first one. I'm gonna go to my first play that I'm looking at. My first stock for the week that I'm looking at is going to be Google. All right, gonna be Google. Now, on Friday, we hit Google for like 22%. If you in a Discord and you hit Google with me on Friday, drop it in the comments. All right. If you hit Google with me on Friday, drop that in the comments. Just so y'all know we ain't fabricating nothing over here, right? Now, looking at Google, I see a couple things, right? Couple different scenarios. And I'm about to share the charts. All right. So I see a couple things going on with Google right now. All right. So here we go. So for Google, let's look at this. First off, Google was just at 202, 207. No, 206, all right? Google was just at 206. So, and it came down. Now look at this right here. We got a gap at the upside from 191 all the way up to 202. So this is a $10 gap right here. At some point in time, this gap will be filled. All right. At some point in time, this gap will be filled. All right. Always remember that. It ain't gonna be this week, but at some point in time, that gap will get filled. Okay. So this is what I'm seeing. So we got that $10 gap. Now we have it closed on Monday at 161 after it beat earnings. Right. It had a red day on Monday, but earnings was after this day. It gapped up because it beat earnings, and then it came up a little bit, rejected off, and then it came down and it started to fill the gap a little bit. All right. So we have a small gap to fill still. So we got from 161 down to 159. All right. So that's a gap that Google has to fill. Now it also has a gap over here from 153 all the way down to 151. All right. So it has to fill that gap as well. Now, with Google, you see we got this 200 EMA right here, right? We got this 200 EMA right here. Now, there's no real resistance until this 200 EMA. And that right there is at 169.07. And then we got resistance right here at 170.75. All right, or 170.72. So tomorrow, Google might try to come test this level right here, 169, depending on where it opens at, or it could immediately come and fill this gap. All right, if it comes and fills this gap within the first 30 minutes of market open, and it doesn't break below, if it breaks below 159, then we coming lower. But if it doesn't break below 159, then we can see it bounce off and then come and try to retest here. It's going to retest 166, and then it could come up to 168.96. All right. Now, if we can get above 170, 72 right here, then we could blast off, because if you look at the weekly, let's go to the weekly. The weekly, we got a big ass bullish engulfing right there. It's a bullish engulfing, right? And if we can get above this level right here at 170.72, then we go into 174. We're going to test that. And then we could potentially go to 182. All right, well, 183.11. But I personally don't think that we're going to go all the way into the 180s just yet. I don't think it's ready. It could, but I don't think it's ready. But I just want to give you the levels, all right? So with Google, I'm looking at calls above 166. And then depending on where we reject that, I would get into puts. But if we break below, let's go back to the daily. If we break below 161, if we break below 161, then I would say we coming down to 159, and then 159 will be support. And if we hold 159, then we could be coming back up. But if we go below 159, then we coming down to like 157, even potentially 156. All right. But you see the 9 and the 21 EMAs, they're curling right here. So this could be, so look, with Google, we could come down here and test these EMAs one more time before we blast off. Y'all see that right there? These EMAs right here are curling. If this 9 EMA crosses over to this 21 EMA, then that's going to let me know that Google is ready to go off. And then if once we can get above this 200 EMA right here, it's over. All right. Once we get above this and we can hold above it, it's over. All right. It's truly over. So let me know if that makes sense on Google. All right. Steve said, yeah, Google was my best day, 35% on Friday. Steve made 35% on Google. Denisha, 22% on Google. QTZ, 25% on Google. Jeff, he hit it on the second test of VWAP, but that was a beautiful trade. Brielle, 13% on Google. Best B, 25% on Google. 7% on Google. Googly Moogly. And that hood swing right now, probably not going to be my best personal trade ever. Okay. So yeah, we banked on that Google play right there. All right. Google has a measure move on the day about 550. Yeah. Yep. So that's the first one that I'm looking at is on Google. Okay. I like Google. I like how Google moves. They had their earnings last week. So now for the rest of the quarter, we don't have to worry about Google. All right. So if I see them EMAs cross over, and if I see Google come back down and touch that EMA, and then I see it start to go up, I'm going to get in, and I'm gonna write it up. All right. The thing about Google is sometimes Google will like consolidate for a week and then it'll blast off. Google is one of them stocks that you really got to catch. All right. It's one of them stocks you really got to catch. But when you do catch it, it be moving. All right. So that's the first stock that I'm looking at for this week that I'm seriously looking at. All right. Now, if that makes sense, let me know in the comments. All right. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments. But that's the first stock that I'm looking at. Thanks to you, Isaiah. Friday was my personal best day as a trader. There you go. Hey, look, that's what it's about, man. Breaking barriers, setting new personal best, and then the next day, the next week, you do a little bit better, right? But here's the thing. When you have a personal best day, now that becomes your new like bar, right? And then your next best day is gonna be like $200, right? And then over time, you're gonna be like, damn, I got to a point where I'm at $1,000. That's my best day. And then after that, once your best day is $1,000, your average is gonna be like $200. And then as you grow, your next best day is gonna be $2,000. And then your average is gonna be $250, $300 a day. And then it just continues to like go incremental, right? Understand that trading is an incremental thing. You feel me? Trading is an incremental thing. So don't get, here's the thing, right? I've heard this before. Man, $200 ain't no real money, right? 200 ain't no real money. And it's like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, right? $200 is not no real money. But if you take $200 and you compound $200 that you don't have to work for, and you throw that into the stock market, what will that do? It could literally make you a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a decamillionaire. So understand the power of trading options and the place that it has. Yes, you can make $5,000 a day. Yes, you can make $10,000 a day. But when you can master a level of consistency that can take you where you want to go, your life takes off. All right? So understand that. All right? So shout out to you, Steve, on that one. He said, my new support on to resistance. Exactly. That's exactly the mindset right there. All right? You ain't got to hit a home run every day. All right? Just keep taking them incremental steps. And those incremental steps, they're going to get you to where you want to go. All right? Jeff said, do I have a video on EMAs? Yes. Yeah, I actually have an EMA video. All right? So I have my playlist on my YouTube channel. I have a indicators video. Go to the indicators video, and then go to my EMA video. All right? I break all of that down. Okay? So I'm gonna go over my next stock that I'm looking at. Now, before I do that, Robinhood just opened up. All right? So let's see where things are looking at right now, real quick. So they just opened up. So Shopify is only down 3 cents, so it's not too crazy. SoFi right now is up 1%. It's at $13. Let's see, Hims is at $28. Nothing too crazy. So I'm seeing some red, but it's nothing crazy right now. It's like less than 1%. Okay, less than 1%. Reddit is break even. So a lot of stocks are like right where they were at when they closed on Friday, but it did just open up. So if we give it a couple hours, we're gonna start to see where things are at, and then when the stock market opens up tomorrow, we're gonna see what stocks are looking like. All right, but we didn't have like a crazy drop, and we didn't have a crazy run up. All right, so yeah, so that's good. So yeah, so my next play, Steve said the average salary in the U.S. is $65K. Yep. Honestly, I think the average salary is a little bit lower. Honestly, I think that's household income, but I could be wrong. All right, but that's $250 a day, right? So look, if you could make $250 a day trading in the stock market. Now, it's not 7 days a week, but it's 5 days a week, right? It's 252 trading days a year. So if we go to the calculator, 250 times 252, that's 63K. All right? So, and then if you take half of that and you put that into your equities, your long-term stocks, right? Or your index funds or whatever you want to do, that right there, that's beautiful. That'll set you up, right? In 3 years from now, you'll be up. All right? So it's like with trading, you got to learn trade to invest. All right? Trade to invest. But in order to trade to invest, you got to learn how to trade, right? That's why I like to spend time on actually learning how to trade, because you trade to invest. All right? So the next stock that I have that I'm looking at this week is Veronica said depending on number of contracts. Yeah, absolutely. That's why when you grow in your account, You want to do it methodically so you ain't over leveraging and then losing more money than you need to. But yeah, it does depend on contracts. What up, trees? So yeah, so my next play that I'm looking at this week is going to be Alibaba. All right? Alibaba. In the Discord, we call it Alibaba Pops. Right? Now, let's go look at Baba. Now, Alibaba is an interesting stock, and the reason why it's so interesting is because it always gaps up and it always gaps down. And so when Alibaba is moving, like when you look at the chart, the daily time frame on the charts, it looks crazy, right? Because it's a whole bunch of gaps. But when it moves, right? So you may get with Alibaba, you'll get 3 days out of the week where it has some strong movements. And maybe 1 to 2 days out of the week, it'll consolidate, right? And then it'll like gap up and gap down. So yeah, that's how Alibaba be working and how it be moving. But I like Alibaba. Now, let me show you what I'm seeing. And here's the thing. I like the stocks in whatever direction. I personally don't worry about what direction. I'm paying attention to the levels. I'm paying attention to the resistance and the support. That's what I'm paying attention to. Because right now in this market, I do not have a bias. I do not have a bias, right? Last year, the stock market was just doing this. Literally, it was just going up, right? If we had a drop, like a market crash, it recovered and was at all-time highs higher within 2 weeks. Right now is not the case, right? So we're not just trending upwards. We're not trending upwards. Everything is kind of everywhere right now. So that's why right now is a great time to scalp trade and or day trade if there's a strong trend. But that's why I like scalp trading, because I could be in and out of a trade in 5 minutes and 2 minutes and 7 minutes and 10 minutes. I could get my money and I could get up out of there. All right. And I could be done before 9:30, 10 a.m. Right. So yeah. So Alibaba. So let's go look at the chart and let's look at Alibaba. All right. If you are on here and you have not, do me a favor and just like this video. All right. Like this video. I'm giving y'all the levels of these trades, literally. All right. It don't get much easier than that. So do me a favor and like this video for me. All right. So let's go to Alibaba. Now, we have something similar with Alibaba right here. We got this gap over here, okay? From 138, 130, let's see, from 138.98 to 141.86. All right, so about a $3.50 gap right here, okay? Now, do I think that we're going to hit 140 this week? I don't think so, but it's up there. But we also have a gap right here that is halfway being filled, right? Here and here. Okay. So, finishing this up right here. Boom. All right. So we have this gap that still has to be filled. So you see this gap right here, right? This was from 118 to 125. That's a $7 gap. Now on Wednesday, it opened up here, came up here, rejected, and then came down, right? And then it's trying to come back up. If we break above 123.66, then we coming up to 125.61. All right. So that's an easy layup right there, right? This is a layup right here. If you see Alibaba get up here 123.66 and it closes, then just take that call and ride it up. Now, if you see, so it closed right here at 120.36. Now, if you see tomorrow it breaks above 120.53, then it should be going up to 123.83. All right. So we got a nice little range right here on Alibaba. We got a nice little range right here. Okay. So we got a $3.50 range right there. No, about $3. All right. So we got a $3 range right there. So if Baba opens up a little below, let's say it opens up at 119.34. It could come down here to this 50 EMA to test at 118.92. It could come down here 117.65, or it could come down here to test, right? But I don't think it's going to come down here to test. I think that it could come here or right here to test and bounce off and then go to the upside. But it depends on where it opens at. All right. If you see Baba break below, let's say 117.57, then it could be coming down to 115.70. All right. Potentially. But that's what I'm seeing. But if we see it got momentum above 120, above 120.60, then it could be tracing to that 123.83. And if you see it break above there, then it's coming to 125. All right. On the weekly time frame, if we close on this week, if we close above 123.83, then we definitely gonna be coming towards that 134. All right, over the next week or so. Alibaba has earnings on the 13th of May, I believe. Let me double check. It's in my phone. They have earnings on, May 13th. All right, so if you follow Alibaba, put this on your calendar. Earnings. All right, before market open. Before market open. All right. So they got earnings on the 13th. All right. So if they break above 125, 123, and they close above it this week, so on Friday at the end of the day, if you see them close above here, then we could be coming to that 134. All right. Let me know if that makes sense for Alibaba. All right. If y'all have any questions, drop them in too, because I got one more play, and then I'm going to and then we'll go over a couple others that I'm seeing. All right. But let me know if Alibaba makes sense. I love trading Alibaba because the way it moves. Outside of like a crazy volatile like market manipulation thing, Alibaba is like, it's real smooth, right? Google is a smooth mover, and so is Alibaba, right? So I like trading Alibaba. Steve said, historically, April is a solid trading month. Is there a historical bullish or bearish sentiment for May? I believe it is historically bearish, if I'm not mistaken. Bearish, if I remember that correctly. So yeah. But here's what I've also learned. The first half of the year, or the first like 4 to 5 months, be a setup for the second half of the year, right? So come June, like after June, we gonna really like start to really see what's going on, and then we gonna start to, get a direction, because we got rate cuts decisions. We got interest rate decisions coming up next week on the 7th of May. If we get a decision about the interest rates next week, the market is gonna go in a direction. So if they drop interest rates, then the stock market could go up. If they say they're not going to do anything and they're not going to budge, and we hear something else about tariffs, the market could go drop down and sell off, right? So, yeah. So we gonna see. So next week is a very pivotal week in the stock market as well. All right. Baba makes sense. I'm sentimental on Baba because my first trade in the Discord was Baba. Yeah, yeah. Hey, whenever you have a win early on, like with a stock, that usually becomes like your favorite stock. You know what I'm saying? That's why on one of my first stocks that I made money with was Tesla, but I lost a lot of money with Tesla last year too, because I was just trading. I wasn't trading, if that makes sense, right? I was trading, but I wasn't trading, right? I didn't really understand what I was doing. So yeah, but yeah, I know how that is. Can that be on NVIDIA? On a daily, looks like a reverse head and shoulders pattern, even if it's not straight, it's kind of off. We'll go over NVIDIA in a minute. Yeah, they definitely gonna manipulate the market, and that's why I've been going hard on this, y'all. Stop losses, all right? Stop losses. Stop losses, stop losses. Type in the comments, stop losses. Type in the comments, stop losses, please, all right? I want you to say, I want you to promise something to yourself. Tell yourself, this week, I will honor my stop loss. Say it. Say it to yourself. Say it with me. This week, I will honor my stop loss. Say it. This week, I will honor my stop loss. I will honor my stop loss. Tell yourself that, all right? Like real talk. Because the name of the game is keep your losers small and your winners big. All right? If I get stopped out of 3 trades, let's say I lose 3 straight times, but each trade I'm only losing 5%. And let's say I risk $1,000, okay? Let me give you a scenario. All right. Let's say I risk I leverage $1,000 and my stop loss is 5%. And I lose 3 trades back to back to back, okay? That's 5%, right? 5%. That's $50. That's $150 over 3 trades. Okay. Now let's say on my 4th trade, I make 20%. And I leverage $1,000, right? If I leverage $1,000 and I make 20% on the trade, that is $200. So one winner can get you in the break even after 3 losers, but only if you make sure you keep your stop loss small. All right? This is the name of the game. Not every trade you're going to get stopped out at 5%. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is be cognizant, okay? Keep your head in the game, all right? Listen to what I'm saying. Keep your head in the game, all right? Don't do nothing stupid this week. Don't do nothing stupid this week. Please don't. Know when to walk away. Know when to say I'm done. All right? Know when to be like, I'm done in the market today. If you get 1 trade and you make 18%, be done. All right? Don't be in the market all day. That's how you lose money. All right? Don't do nothing stupid this week. Don't have a great Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, you blow your account, and then on Thursday and Friday, you lose small because now you're scared because you just took a big L on Wednesday, and then you gave back your money. Like, don't do that stuff. All right? Tighten up. All right? Tighten up. Okay? So, my last play, yes. Also, once in profit, move that stop loss up in profit, okay? If you have Thinkorswim, turn on your trailing stop loss, all right? If you got Webull or Robinhood, then just adjust your stop loss as it's going up. All right, this is how we play the game. This is how we play the game. All right, y'all. Don't be out here doing no crazy stuff. All right, that's how you lose money, and more money than you need to lose. All right. 10% stop loss when I get in the scalp. Okay. Be cognizant. Know when to walk away. Don't do nothing stupid this week. Yeah, not for real. Like seriously, yo. Make sure your psychology is solid. All right. Check your household. Right. If you and your spouse had an argument, man, go have a conversation tonight. All right. Do whatever you need to do to clear the air out. I'm giving you, like, this is real life. Because you cannot afford to go into the week tomorrow morning with bullshit in your head. All right. Go to sleep tonight with a clear mind. All right. Please do. Please do. Please do. You don't want to wake up tomorrow with a whole bunch of residue from this week or last week or this weekend. All right. Handle what you need to handle tonight. All right. QT said, yeah, the more I win, the less I'm in the market. Exactly. Because look, the more you win, the less you want to be in the market. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's how my grandpa used to be. He used to be like, right? The more you win, the less you want to be in the market. Because the name of the game is efficiency. I always say, you can make 6 figures a year with 1, maybe 2 trades per day. It's about efficiency, okay? It's about efficiency. So understand that, all right? Steve laughing. My motto is lose small, fast if wrong, win big, slow if right. Hey, you can't go wrong with that motto right there, all right? What Jay-Z say? He said, it ain't a lot of y'all. He said, I told him less is more. It's plenty of us. You feel me? It's the same concept with trading. Less is more. Less trades. Increase your size a little bit as long as you got the proper account size, right? 1 trade, maybe 2. As long as you see a solid setup, be done. All right. The last stock that I'm looking at this week, all right. The last stock that I'm looking at this week is going to be Micron. All right, Micron. Now, Micron is in the chip space, right? It's in the same space as NVIDIA. All right, let me show y'all what I'm seeing. If you just hopped on or you watching this, do me a favor and like this video. And then drop it in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from if you haven't already, all right? Just do me that one favor. That's all I'm asking for you, all right? Now, I'm looking at Micron this week as well. This is a stock that I've been really enjoying trading, all right? Here's what I look for when I'm looking for stocks to trade. I'm looking for volatility, okay? I want a stock to be moving, all right? So volatility and volume, all right? Volume, increased volume means more liquidity, tighter spreads. I want a stock that has tighter spreads, all right? If the stock has tighter spreads, I'm gonna be able to get in and get out a lot quicker, right? So that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for stocks to trade. All right. Dracon said Texas. There we go. I love Texas. Texas is a vibe. What part of Texas you in? All right. If you in the Discord, you already know, man, we be eating off of MU. All right. We be rocking with MU a lot. All right. So let's go to the charts and I'm going to show y'all what I see with MU. All right. All right. So look at this. So first off, let me break this down for y'all. This is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. All right. So first off, before we go to that, I just want to say I caught this bear flag back in March. All right. I caught this bear flag. All right. Look, we had a strong move to the downside. It consolidated back and forth from last August to now, right? And then we had that drop. So I called this bear flag, all right? I don't know if anybody remember that, but I said MU was coming down when it was at like $95. All right? So now, let's go to this right here. So this is where we at. So with Micron, we have a gap up here, right? We're going to go up a little higher. This is on a daily time frame. All right? So, boom. So we have a bear flag right here, but as you can see, it broke out of it to the upside, right? But let's not get bamboozled, because we have two gaps to the downside that need to be filled, right? We got two gaps that need to be filled right here. So at some point in time, I think pretty soon, Micron is coming back down to $70 minimum, right? Right now it's at $79. Micron is coming back down to $70. But I see no, on a daily time frame, there's no resistance until we hit $83, $83.24. All right. So it broke above this resistance level right here, 78, right, 58. Now we right here, it closed right here. On Monday, tomorrow, if we break above $80.26, then we should be coming up to this $83 right here, $83.44. Now, if we get above that, and that's going to be getting above that 50 EMA right there, then we coming up to fill this gap. All right, and that's going to put us at $86, $86.82. So we got about $7 of movement from Micron right now, okay? And then if you go to the weekly time frame, it looks like the same, right? Now you got the 200 EMA and a 9 EMA sitting right here. So look, if we come right here, which is 81.46, this is going to be the first, this is going to be an actual battle to get above, actually, right? So really, before we see, I know I said there's no resistance until 83, right? But if you look on the weekly time frame, we got 81.46. So that's why you want to look at multiple time frames, because you can look at multiple time frames and be like, oh, I see what's going on. There may be a level on a weekly time frame that you didn't see. So you may be getting into a call, writing it up, and thinking that, oh, okay, I'm about to eat, and then it reverse on you. But you didn't see the level that existed on the weekly time frame. So you want to look at the weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and then the 15. All right, that's what I like to do. So we got this level right here, 81.46. Most people ain't gonna see this level right here. All right, so we could come up here and reject, or we could blast through it. We got to see, right? So, but this is still a bear flag, right? So I want to see what happens this week with Micron. Okay, if we get above that 200 EMA and close above it on a weekly, then we could definitely be coming up to maybe even trying to get to $100. But we got to see what's going on first, all right? We got to fill out the situation, all right? But this is what MU looks like. Now, if MU, it could come up to that 81 level right here, and then it could reject, right? And if it rejects, then we could come right back down here to like $76, all right? Could be coming back down there to test this EMA right here. The 9 EMA right here is trying to curl, and it's trying to do its thing, but we got to see. All right, it ain't too close yet, like to the 21. So they're not really about to cross over yet. They look like they could be, but I don't know, right? So if we break below this 21 EMA right here on a daily time frame, then we could start seeing it coming down and seeing a descent. But I want you guys to keep in mind that if MU, in my mind, MU was coming down unless it keeps going up to above 106. Because this right here would be a higher high. Wherever it rejects from is going to be a lower high than this right here. All right, because that's even right here. If it breaks above here, we could say that this is a potentially a higher high. But this is like a real, you could really see the trend. This is just broke down, right? So, and it broke above right here, but that's not really like a high because that's just consolidation, right? So this is a low right here because we see it came down and it bounced off, right? So the next time you see MU reject and on the daily time frame and you start seeing it coming down a little bit, that means that MU could really be coming down to 65 and potentially a little bit lower and then have it bounce off. All right. And when you look at MU, you got to understand that NVIDIA and MU have a very similar, they have a very similar situation. So with NVIDIA, Best B said it's an inverted head and shoulders. Let me see. Oh, I see it right here, but I don't see this shoulder, right? So I wouldn't say that that's an inverted head and shoulders. I would just say that that's just a continuous downtrend, right? So here's what we got with NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA is at a very interesting place. If it breaks above this 50 EMA at 113, we got to get above the 200, which is at 117, right? And we really got to get above 115. 115 is that level right there, all right? We haven't been above there since March 26. But yeah, that 115 is a level. If you go back historically, that 115 level is a strong level right there, all right? After that, it's usually like 134. But if we could get above 113 and we start to see some bullish action, then we could start, saying, okay, NVIDIA might be ready to take off. But if we see it come up here and reject, it's coming back down and it's going to try to come lower than here, or it's going to create a higher low. Because this is a low right here and then this is a low. This is a higher low right here. So we're going to see where it rejects off of and then where it comes down to. But I want you guys to keep in mind that right here, you got a gap, okay? You got a gap, all right? This is a gap to the downside, and it's from 101 down to 99. So NVIDIA, at some point in time, still got to come back down here. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it still has to come back down here, all right? And then we got this right here. This is on a weekly time frame. We had that bullish engulfing right here, and then the next week it gapped up, and then it came down. So 2 weeks ago was a red week, and then we had a green week, but it hasn't really gone up, right? So as you can see, it's kind of stuck right here in this downtrend. So we gonna see what happens this week, right? See that 110? If it opens above and it starts to go up, then okay, that's cool. But if we see it start rejecting off that 110, 111 level, then we could really be coming down. All right. So let me know if that makes sense on MU and NVIDIA. All right. Arlington. I love Dallas. Ratchet City, Louisiana. NVIDIA influences MU. All right. MU is like NVIDIA's like little brother or little cousin. All right. Are gaps only created from before or after market movements? So gaps are the gap between where it closed at and where it opened at. So that's where they created at. All right. So yeah, y'all. So that's what I'm looking at this week. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. But I'm looking at Googly Moogly. That's what we started calling it. Googly Moogly. We got Pops, which is Baba, and then we got MU. All right. I gotta figure out a nickname for MU. All right. I don't know yet. I don't know if we're gonna call it MU. If y'all got any ideas, put them in the Discord. We gotta figure out what we're gonna call MU because we've been smacking MU too much to not have a nickname for it. All right. So those are three. Could you show me how to perform? Hey. I will try. I'm gonna try to do it in a suit. I'm gonna try to do it in a suit too, right? That's funny right there. That's crazy. Yeah, that's real crazy right there. Um, another. So I think Robinhood as well is definitely could definitely be blasting off. It's a double bottom right here on a daily. It's a double bottom right here on a daily. Um, and then boom, retested this level right here, came back up. This is a daily level. If we break above right here, you see we got this, and this, right? So let me show you. We got this right here, and then we got this right here, and then we got this right here. All right. So once Robinhood breaks above this level, it should be blasting off because it tested it 3 times. So once it breaks through this 49.94, then we gonna be blasting off. All right. So I think Robinhood got a lot of upside potential as well. All right. Hey, but look, real talk. I don't trade in Forex, Caribbean grind. I only do stock options. Could you trade options on the stock Weeble? No, not yet. Last I checked last week, they were still just shares. Yeah. Yeah, Q. Make MU is a good one. I'm gonna be doing it, so you could just, rock with me on MU, but I'm gonna be doing it. Right, bro. Right. Nah, I'm not in any swings right now, Steve. This is what I want to say though. Listen. Shout out to everybody in the Discord, man, who showed up today. All right, straight up. Like, if you know, you know. All right, because I don't want to bring stuff up, but like, shout out to everybody, man, that showed up today because it's gonna be more like funny business that happens, in the future. And so I want to say I appreciate y'all for doing that, man. All right. What's my strat? Christian. I love rejections. Okay. That's one of my favorite things is a rejection. I basically like to trade off of support and resistance. Yeah, break and retests are okay, but I love rejections. That's my thing. That's my scalping strategy. All right. I only just tried to invest on Robinhood, never traded. Yeah. Yeah, you can trade on Robinhood. I like trading on Webull and also Thinkorswim. But I have a Robinhood account, but I don't use it at all. I just use it for demonstration on the on the YouTube channel and stuff. But I don't really use Robinhood. But that's what I'll say too. Like, if you on Robinhood, I would advance to like Thinkorswim when you get a chance, right? I know sometimes you don't want to take your money out and you don't want to like take a pause, but I would really just like transfer it over to Thinkorswim or Webull because I like those platforms better. All right. What time frame? I trade off of the 15 and the 30, and sometimes the hourly. It just depends. Hey, nah, I appreciate it, Best Beat, for real. If it go down more, I might get a leap or something. We'll see. On Robinhood, yeah, if Robinhood comes down, see, I'm mad that I didn't get in at the $29 level. Because if I would have got in there, I would have been up like 10K minimum right now. But yeah, Robinhood, because that would have been a $20 move when it was at $29, right? It's at 49 right now. All right. What up, Kaneka? Yeah, and I will say too, man, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord because we live trade every day, and we signal all of our plays as well, right? And also we have a very high win ratio as well, right? We got these daily stats. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, stuck on Robinhood. Yeah, if you're a beginner, Robinhood is good. But I honestly, even as a beginner, I like Webull. I never traded options on Robinhood. As a beginner, I did Webull. And so that's why I really like it for my scalping. I be in and out. Um, Christian said, "What's a confirmation for me? Why don't you Are you like brand new Christian to trading? Like, tell me where you at in your journey, Christian. What's up, Jerry? I downloaded Thinkorswim desktop today and went over all the tutorials I needed. This is about to be a life-changing step for me because that active trader is going to make everything better for me. Yeah, I need to I'm about to start using the Webull desktop actually. Um, I don't have the desktop Thinkorswim yet because I be using that for my swings, so I don't need to get in and out fast on my swings, So I kind of could take a little bit longer time. Started on Hood, but now I went to Webull, and now I want to think about Swim because of trailing. Yeah, that trailing stop loss is man. Listen, that trailing stop loss. If you get in a trade and you up 10%, you could literally put a 5% trailing stop loss on that joker and just let it ride. It's that simple. It makes trading way easier. Yeah, Steve said join the Discord. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not licensed. Do I like Franks? Hey, y'all funny. Y'all is real funny. Yeah, Christian, join the Discord, bro. Join the Discord. Celebrated a birthday today. Celebrate. I need to start my year off right. There you go, Veronica. Happy birthday. It was my mom's birthday today too. It was my mom's birthday today too. So that's what's up. It's a new year for you. Okay. I'm in a mentorship right now. I've had pretty good growth with it, what I've learned, but I'm open to learning new concepts and come across some of your videos. Yeah. Yeah. What I would say is, because, man, I answer all those questions in depth, man. Um, Watch the videos on the channel, and then, yeah. And listen, here's the thing. I'm not gung ho about like, you got to join Discord, you got to join Discord, but I do know how beneficial it would be, even if you are in a mentorship and if you haven't like made substantial amount of money. I would highly recommend it. And also, it ain't even just about trading with us. That's the biggest thing. See, most people can only talk about the stock market. Most people are only valuable to people about the stock market and trading. But with us, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just people, man. It's just people. Like we really connect on a different level, in a lot of different ways, and we gonna be doing some dope stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Veronica. It's her birthday. What's your stop loss? -5%, 10%. So right now, my stop loss usually is about 8%. Okay. Because I learned that whenever I was above 15%, that play usually ended up going -30%, 40%, right? Because I looked at my biggest losses, and I said, okay, whenever I'm down 15% or more, it's not good. But I didn't want to have a 15% stop loss because I didn't want it to get there. So I did between an 8 and a 12% stop loss, right? And then I started to see it, and as my entries got better, my drawdown is usually about 5 to 7%. So now my stop loss is about 8% on every trade, and then I'll adjust my stop loss as I see fit. But yeah, about 8% right now. All right. The Discord, it's only $40 a month, bro. It ain't nothing crazy. Click the description in this video and just join. You'll make your money tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even worry about that. But yeah. But no, it's not a free. It's not free. Do you invest in high yield dividend stocks? Yeah, I do actually. And here's what's funny. I'm about to start putting out some dividend stock information, and also just like investing information too, because that's what I haven't been putting out. Because I obviously invest in stocks. Like, I would be dumb to not have no stocks. But yeah, I am going to start putting out some videos about like investing, right, in the stock market, and like not just what stocks, but like, just different mindset stuff too. So that's going to be on the way, really coming in this next month. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, high yield dividend stocks, yes. And also some ones that are just like the boring ones, but they get the job done as well. So yes, I do have dividend stocks. I would be dumb not to at this point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you're watching this, biggest thing I'll say is be sure to manage your stop loss and manage your risk this week. Be patient. Tomorrow is Monday, and we're going into the last 3 days of the end of the month. All right? Do not get caught up in a play that, went bad. Don't hold on to anything that you don't need to be holding on to. Say this. Say this in the comments too. Last thing. I will not allow a day trade become a swing trade. Put that in there. Don't allow a day trade to become a swing trade. I need to reiterate this. Put it in the comments. I will not allow a day trade to become a swing trade. I will not allow a day trade to become a swing trade. I will not allow a day trade to become a swing trade. Put that in the comments. All right? I want you to remember that and remind yourself of that. All right? I will not allow a day trade to become a swing trade. That is pivotal and critical to your long-term success. Because the more you start allowing these day trades to become swing trades, this eating up at your available buying power. All right? It's eating up at your buying power. And your money is being tied up. And if that play never reverses, you lost bread. All right? So it's like a opportunity cost, and it's an expensive opportunity cost. All right? The only way it should be a swing trade is if you knew that there's a potential that you're going to be holding this. But don't get in a play and be down and be like, I'm going to swing it. No. All right? Don't do that. Do not do that. All right? Yeah, that theta will definitely cook you alive. It'll boil you and throw you on a skillet. All right? Don't do it. All right? Don't do it. Like, be disciplined this week, y'all. Have your psychology intact. Like, straight up. All right? Y'all are becoming monsters and beasts and snipers. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. All right? So, yeah. Yeah, don't do that. Don't allow a swing trade to become a day trade. Like, don't do it, y'all. Get in, get out. All right? So yeah. So that's what I got for you guys today, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I always say, make sure you get out of your head and go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? The more you stay in here, you got to get up out of there, all right? And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I'm going to see everybody in a Discord tomorrow morning. If you are not in the Discord, join the Discord so I can see you tomorrow morning and we can get this money. All right? I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, and holla at you. Have a good night, and let's get it this week, y'all. Let's have a great, prosperous week. All right? Peace.